T-Dog, J-Boy, and me, I'm Lugs. Our pride and joy is pumping our mugs. Be careful, kids, it could get rough. We're flipping our lids on sports and other stuff. Welcome to Sport Weasel Central. I'm Lug.
I'm J-Boy.
And I'm T-Dog.
Yes, sir. This is Sports and Other Stuff, knocking on Memorial Day. And here we are in the cicada capital of the world. So here's what we have. The Indy 500's in the air. Marv Albert calls it quits. Albert Pujols is now a Dodger. It's hard to see old players fade away, maybe. And NFL talk. Julio, wherefore art thou? We'll try it. All right, guys, let's get started. Let's start with that Julio Jones' thing, and we'll segue into Aaron Rodgers. Let's go.
Well, Julio, he is probably the most prolific offensive person they've ever had in Atlanta. I don't know his exact stats, but I think from what I saw, it would be a good move for him to go to Indianapolis. He could fit in and add to that team, and they've got a bunch of pieces. I'm not real sold on Wentz, but I would say that could be a good landing spot for him.
Yeah, I think that the Colts would be an intriguing one. I'm trying to think that they have a decent amount of cap space, so it could work. But obviously, they have coming up their linebacker Leonard and also offensive lineman Smith. So I don't know if they want to be putting all that money into a 32-year-old wide receiver. Obviously, Wentz is very talented, but they still have to figure out if he's going to work for them or not, and they have some, wiggle room with him. And obviously, they're a very talented team. They should be a playoff team, particularly when you look at the AFC South, just how it's kind of decrepit. They should back into the playoffs. Maybe even better than that. Maybe I'm being too presumptive, but I think the three teams that really intrigue me are these. Because I think they can win the Super Bowl. Not that they even need Julio, but I think it just puts them over the top. Cleveland Browns.
Wow.
Cleveland Browns, you look at, they already have Odell. They have Landry. They had Julio. Then they add to it, they had Austin Hooper, the tight end they brought in from Atlanta. And they have in the backfield Chubb and Hunt. And their offensive line is one of the best. You're flying. Other one is the Chargers. That one, not as much because obviously there's a lot of new pieces. Herbert was great last year, but I don't know. But still, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Austin Eckler out of the backfield. That's a pretty intriguing offense for him to go to. But the main one, just because he has experience with them, so it wouldn't take him that long to get up to speed. The 49ers. With all those guys that were injured last year on defense and on the offensive line and whatnot, you have Deebo Samuels, you have Brandon Ayuk, and then you have Julio at wide receiver in addition to George Kittle. And I know J-Boy and I are big on Trey Lance. Trey Lance explodes like we think he will. Look out. They just took 1 year pause. They're going to be back in the Super Bowl banging it out. So those are my teams that I find the most intriguing.
Yep. We are now convening the Trey Lance fan club every Tuesday at 2:00. All right. I like your idea of Julio Jones going to Indianapolis, because let me make this early preseason prediction. Carson Wentz, writing it down, MVP. Hear me out, with Frank Reich calling the shots with a good team behind him. Carson's a good player. We've seen that. We know that. He'll be back. MVP. There you go. That's it. Show over. See you guys.
Thank you very much. Now on to other crazy NFL news. This week, the Aaron Rodgers drama continues. My favorite was he was on with Kenny Mayne, and it was Kenny Mayne's last interview. And Kenny Mayne basically jokingly said that Aaron Rodgers had advised him to get cryptocurrency, and it dropped by 40% as soon as he bought it. And then Kenny says, F you, Aaron, and drops his mic and walks off, which was kind of cool, and Rodgers laughed. So it was good for Kenny Mayne. It gave him his moment. But as far as Rodgers goes, I mean, seriously, that team should win the North going away. I don't get what he wants now. Where does he want to go? I mean, they can be in the playoffs for sure, no doubt. Got a shot at the Super Bowl. They've got enough talent. So I just don't, at a certain point, it's like, dude, shut up.
I guess it's his party, and he'll cry if he wants to. I mean, he's just spoiled, and I don't know what he wants.
Well, yeah, I think the thing that's intriguing is he just did an interview recently where he said his desire to leave the Packers is not because of Jordan Love or the coaching staff, and again he just keeps circling back on Brian Gutekunst and maybe Murphy to some extent, the president. I don't know. I think it's maybe Gutekunst, but. He didn't attend the voluntary off-season workouts, which for a lot of people is no big deal, but he historically does attend. But still, I'll ask you, what leverage does he really have? I mean, he can cry, but it kind of like what Lugs was pointed at, that Green Bay team is so talented, and they should be favored to win the North if he's there. And considering his contract, because obviously you're going to have to move that money, there's not that many options. Mm-hmm. And obviously you had at least 5 teams draft a quarterback who they think is going to be their starter. So obviously that open vacancy just got smaller. I know they've circled around Broncos a few times, but and maybe he gets traded around June 1st or a little after, but he still has to learn all these players. The game's starting in September. This guy has 3 months to get accumulated to new offense and new personnel. I don't know. It just seems very bizarre.
Yeah, it's it's ill-timed and ill-conceived, I'm thinking, at this point for him. It's like if he were on a team that didn't have a shot, I could understand. But they got a great offensive line. And if you notice, the teams that do well, I mean, it's like Indianapolis with Rivers. Rivers was like a block of stone back there. Couldn't move. And yet they did well.
Yep.
So I think if you've got he's got all the pieces are there. Go to any skill position. They've got good or even great players in every skill position. It's like,
and T-Dog, you're right, man. You're right about that. There's 5 teams that drafted QBs. They're all going to ride that rookie contract for 3 or 4 years, not spend any money. And that's what you do now. I mean, that's the way of the game.
And everyone else either has a bona fide quarterback or guys like Tua, who's still too early to tell what he is or not. And even the situation with Carson Wentz, I think even if he's mediocre, which I agree with you, I'm not going to be as bold, even though we're both also Carson Wentz lovers. I know Lugs doesn't. I don't know if I could go that far as you, Carson Wentz, but I think Carson Wentz would be good. So he's not going anywhere. And obviously, look, Denver wants him. It's not that they don't want him, but what are they going to give up in terms of draft compensation to make it worth their while? I mean, what they're going to give him Teddy Bridgewater and
who knows?
The Mizzou quarterback. It's not going to be worth it to them. I mean, so. And look, I just want to circle around again on what Lug said, which is the best point. It makes it worse for Rodgers to want to leave because there is no better position in terms of understanding the offense. I mean, this will be year 3 in this system where he's been fantastic. I mean, he won the MVP last year. And the talent around them is good. I think they had a fairly good draft. Obviously, no one knows, but it felt like they had a good draft. And they got Amari Rodgers, who everyone's saying is the next Randall Cobb. I don't know if he is, but like that was a piece that was missing last year, so that maybe enhances our offense a lot more. It just makes it worse because he's leaving a great situation, not even a good situation. So,
yeah, you got to question his sanity a little bit. I mean, maybe that shot that he took when he cracked those ribs and stuff, maybe it jarred something loose in his blood system. I don't know.
Relax.
Well, the good news is the fans will be able to attend the camps this year, which they haven't been able to do for a while.
Yeah.
So, everybody can get kind of worked up. I guess we could go see the Bengals.
Yeah. Sure.
So, and the other good news, I like my man Fitz. Everybody knows it. And Fitz is working on his playbook with his teammates and stuff. So the Washington football team, Fitz is going to get them there. He is. They're going to beat Dallas. I'm sorry. I don't have a whole lot of faith in Dak at this point.
No, right.
I hope to be proved wrong. But so anyway, that's just and we were talking JJ, I'm just doing a hodgepodge of the potpourri.
Sorry.
Potpourri
The
for
potpourri
400,
tonight.
Alex.
What flavor do you want, sir? Yeah.
I was just going to say, JJ Watt's new shoe is in honor of Pat Tillman, who played for the Arizona Cardinals
Sure.
and died in war. It's called the JJ4 Valor. So, and apparently Tillman's wife was in on helping out.
I like it as a deal. Like, obviously, I would assume a lot of proceeds go to veterans, which I like. But here's my main question out of this to you all. What level of government, of positioning does J.J. Watt top out at? Because clearly, look at the stuff he did with the Houston Texans. Clearly, this man is angling for a job in politics down the road. Where's his ceiling? Where's his ceiling?
He will be a senator from Wisconsin.
I'm going governor.
A governor?
Yeah, it worked for Jesse the Body Ventura. You remember that in Minnesota. And Watt's got a little bit more. He's got a few more brain cells than Jesse. So I think he's got a
for
shot.
Now.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah, that's true. That may.
I can't wait till J.J. Watt is standing behind a podium telling a packed audience about the Illuminati. That's what I'm getting at what you're saying, Jay Boyd.
But it depends. Wisconsin be good for him. I know that's home, but I don't know which way he leans politically, though. I gotta say, I don't know.
I don't know this. I would say he was. I think he was very tight with, and this isn't to say he is this party, but he was very tight with George Sr. So because obviously he lived in the Houston area, and so I don't know.
George H.W.
Yeah. So.
Wow, all right. All right, boys, I want to bring this up. This guy is retiring.
Rondo sets it up. Here's Allen with a deep three. Yes!
Yes, the man who took one word and made it his own somehow. Marv Albert's hanging it up after the NFL season this year. And they call him the voice of the NBA, and I think that's probably true. What do you guys think? For the decades.
Yeah, maybe. There have been some good ones, but probably the most recognizable, just like delivery, that sort of back of throat kind of delivery. So,
voice of the Knicks forever, and he called all the Jordan finals on NBC Sports when NBC had it, and now he's been on TNT TBS for about 20, but they call him kind of the face and the voice of the NBA in the modern era, and I think that's probably pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Not one of my favorites, but you got to give him credit. He's been doing it for 50 years nearly. He's 80 years old.
No, look, like you said, like he covered a lot of like the most historic runs, like the Jordan. And it's actually funny. I listened to one podcast where they watched the on the Ringer. They called the rewatchables. And the funny thing they pointed out, I don't know if there was something personal between Marv Albert and Michael Jordan. He would take these like weird small digs at Michael Jordan where he's like